Now, Arsenal pushing for positive Merino Mikel resolution this week. You know, this is a heavy story. It has the likes of David Austin, Mikel Delaney. It has even Fabrizio Romano into the making. I know there is a story that came in through of a bid that has been rejected. I'm going to be talking about it. But I tell you, this story is really heavy. And if at all you're not ready for it, you should obviously charge yourself and tighten your seatbelts. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And where are you watching us from? I go by the name of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name and hope you guys are really having fun. Let's see close to 300 likes mark in this video and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And we are in the mid of this month and I know we can really make it happen. And you people have been with us from 1 subscriber to the 20, I think we're having now 23,000, right? Is it 23,000 subscribers? Right? I think that's what you're really having. And I know you're really going to make it to that milestone. We are left with some 7,000 to hit 30,000, but I know we can obviously hit that milestone, you know. So continue to subscribe. Go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Remember, we are powered by Mono Gadgets. Mono Gadgets are really dealers in phones and laptops, brand new phones and brand new laptops, even used phones and used laptops. You know, that's what they really deal in. And you can as well do the needful and follow them on TikTok. You know, search for Mono Gadgets and you'll obviously follow them up there. You can as well call them on +256 70 99 88 665. That is Mono Gadgets for you, and they'll obviously be to your service. That is Mono Gadgets into the mix. Now, let's obviously start it off with a story coming in through from Mikel Delaney, who told us today that Real Sociedad have rejected the first offer worth just over 30 million euros from Arsenal for the proposed transfer of Mikel Merino. Although talks are continuing between the clubs, Real Sociedad are holding out for 35 million euros. Now, I think this is an update of what Mikel Delaney told us yesterday that I went ahead obviously broadcast in the morning, that Arsenal were willing to obviously pay 25 million euros, right? And they've gone ahead obviously reach a level of really paying 30 million euros, meaning that they're nearing that agreement. And I tell you what, this week might be very crucial into what is really happening at the deal or in the deal of Mikel Merino to cross from Arsenal, to cross from Real Sociedad, obviously coming through and join the club of Arsenal, because Arsenal is serious. The moment this is going to be rejected, Fabrizio Romano has come out and really told us the following, that negotiations between Arsenal and Real Sociedad for Mikel Merino remain active. The player wants to go to Arsenal and 2 clubs are in direct contact. So, meaning that, however much the first bid is going to be rejected of 30 million euros, I think it was like 25 million euros plus 5 million euros of add-ons, Arsenal has gone ahead not to give up. They've kept themselves in contact with Real Sociedad, and it's really one of the deals that we anticipate that it is really nearing completion. And then Fabrizio added some 2 hours later that more on Mikel Merino deal. Arsenal and Real Sociedad have been in contact for weeks. Formal bid, part of the process after long verbal talks over deal structure. Similar to Carafiori's story, club negotiating best solution. Merino wants Arsenal. Contract 100% agreed. So, the talks between Arsenal and Real Sociedad are really intensifying, and they might really yield fruits by the end of this week. And I believe that's what Arsenal is really doing, and they're really doing something great for this. So that's what Fabrizio told us after Mikel Delaney told us about the bid that has been rejected. You understand? Then later, David Austin came through and obviously told us something concerning this deal. And he said the following: for everyone who was asking on where the plane took this guy to, it took him to Spain. Now, your answer has gone to be answered. This is David Austin telling us that Arsenal have stepped up their efforts to sign Real Sociedad midfielder Mikel Merino, and the 2 clubs are now in talks to negotiate the deal. Edu has been in Spain this week as he looks to broker as he looks to broker an agreement, and Arsenal are confident of a positive resolution. So the positive resolution that Arsenal will be looking in for is that one that will give them what we call a huge go into what we call the deal of Merino crossing from Real Sociedad, obviously coming through and really do the needful. I remember I brought you a story that the guy fled to Spain this week, and the reason as to why he was going there, he was obviously negotiating the deal of Mikel Merino. And the person who published that story was a source coming in from Spain. He told us that they don't know what deal exactly they've gone in for, but the fact is he had gone ahead for transfer business resolutions. And David Austin has now confirmed to us that the fact is this man was in Spain and he was looking for a positive resolution in between Arsenal and Real Sociedad, because they're really having some good blood. You know, they don't have bad blood. Kian Tierney was playing for the side of Real Sociedad on loan for a full season, and that shows you that they're really having some good working conditions, and they are really trying to find a common ground to see to it that they obviously get themselves up and running to get everything ready to where it deserves to be. So for me, I'm just excited to see to it that these deals are really moving in the positive direction, and Arsenal is pushing for a Mikel Merino resolution that is really positive, to see to it that they really find themselves in a common understanding to get this deal over the line. And that is the beauty of this deal, that the moment you find a common ground and common resolution, the rest is really going to be history. And Edo is really now saying, I'm no longer going to be on phone calls, I'm not going to be on video calls, I'm not going to be sending faxes and emails. I'm going to be going direct to Spain to get this done and dusted. And that's what shows you that the deal is really in advanced stages. And I saw Fabrizio Romano retweet one of his tweets that he put up, and that shows you that something positive is really coming in through, because when like I think it was yesterday, it was on Monday when he retweeted a tweet, when he reposted a post about Matthias de Ligt and Mazrui, the bid of United having gone ahead to be rejected, you know, he reposted the post that read, United are sending a message to Matthias de Ligt and Mazrui that we will be back stronger. And after he reposted it, in the next I think hours, we got a story coming in through from David Austin that a deal has been agreed. An agreement of 45 plus 5 million euros of add-ons has going to be agreed between United and Bayern Munich on Matthias de Ligt, and that of 15 plus 5 million euros of add-ons has been agreed between United and Bayern Munich on a player known as Mazrui. Now, I anticipate that these talks are really moving to the positive direction, and we might really get here we go, all an agreement has been reached between Arsenal and Real Sociedad not far off from now. I really anticipate that, because that's the process of every transfer. When you see those retweets coming in through, you obviously understand that something positive is building up between Arsenal and Real Sociedad on the guy known as Mikel Merino. David Austin summarized and said Mikel Merino is keen to join Arsenal and play under Mikel Arteta, with personal terms not thought to be an issue. Although Real Sociedad have offered him an extension, the player's representatives have made it clear that his intention is to join Arsenal. Now, it's clear and written all over the world that he's not going to look back. Mikel Merino is not going to look back. He's obviously going to come on through and obviously put in the record shift all together to send a message to the side of, to send a clear-cut message to the side of Real Sociedad that I'm no longer interested. And it has been sent to them. It's a cold, harsh fact that the side of Real Sociedad might find hard to really digest, but they have to take it and really accept that it's time for them to obviously come to what we call parting ways with Mikel Merino. That's the update that we are having from the side of Mikel Merino, Real Sociedad, and Arsenal. A duo in the mix, and remember we are powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in phones that are really brand new, right, and laptops that are really brand new. Even if you want to use phones and laptops, you can as well come in and obviously tell me your thoughts. You can as well go in and really call them on +256 70 99 88 665 to see to obviously provide you with the best of the gadgets they do have. Follow them on TikTok, Mono Gadgets. That's what you search for, and you'll obviously see the vast range of products that these two are really having into the mix. Now, let's obviously head to from Arsenal and move on to the other side, and the side we are moving to is known as and the side we are moving to is known as and the side we are moving to is known as Manchester City. Now, Man City hasn't been active in this summer transfer window. The only deal they've gone ahead to sanction as a side of Man City was done, if you remember, the deal was done. That deal was done way back, even before the summer transfer window opened, of Savio, and I think he's the only player they've gone ahead to bring in. They've gone ahead to late, there is the left back known as Sergio leave, you know. Then there is another guy called. There is another guy called Edson Alvarez. Not Edson Alvarez. He's called as Julian Alvarez. He has left and he was gone to the side of Atletico Madrid. I'm going to be really bringing you a message from Kun Agüero to Julian Alvarez, you know, after his move from Man City to Atletico Madrid, and everyone is asking himself, what is Man City all about? And they really looking in for replacement of these players. Now, The Athletic, one of the most credible outlets that David Austin works for, and very many others, has come out and told us the following: that the initial message coming out of Man City this time last week was that they are happy with their current squad, but they're exploring the market for another player in case they can find somebody who meets the criteria. So, Man City are okay and happy with their squad, but they will only spend when they think the player is right or the transfer is right for them to spend on. And by the way, they've gone ahead to fetch in 75 million euros from the deal of Julian Alvarez, plus 15, plus 20, meaning that they have cash with them. They will have some good amount of money on them, and they are like, we are only going to spend when this is right. Remember, Man City went ahead to beat Manchester United into the Community Shield, but I tell you what, it was not a convincing win. The way Manchester United came in through after them, it was like City no longer have that edge to obviously edge these teams. And I remember in one of the videos that I did, I came here and I told you that it's really going to be hard for the side of City to dominate, as it has always gone ahead to do, because this time round teams are really going to be fired up. And if at all the race for the title has Manchester United onto it, like in the 4th position, with Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool leading it, that means if it's a 4-horse race, if 2 clubs drop, one won't drop. You get? If one club implode, the other one won't implode. If the other club bottles up the chase, the other one won't bottle up the chase. That's the problem that Man City is really having right now. And I tell you, if they don't really reinforce, I believe they need to reinforce. Why? If you tell me that you are not willing to obviously get in a player to replace Julian Alvarez, and you are trusting Erling Haaland, then that is already a very huge red flag into the chase of the Premier League title. That is it. It's a very huge red flag, because the side of Manchester City doesn't have another player. I know they can really use the likes of Phil Foden to plus false number 9. They can use maybe Bernardo Silva and very many others. Maybe can use Kevin De Bruyne to play as a false number 9, but it won't really bring out the best picture of how Pep wants to play. You understand? In a season where you are really expecting Jeremy Doku, or you are really doubtful Jeremy Doku to get you 20 goals, and maybe Foden to obviously keep his form. You need a striker to obviously come in and obviously complement the goals that guy went ahead to score, that is Julian Alvarez. Because in total, I think he got himself a total of 20 goals at the side of Manchester City. Let me be really exact. Julian Alvarez, when you look at his stats, last season, 11 goals in the Premier League and 9 assists. Then 5 goals in the Premier League. Those are 16. 2 goals in the Club World Cup. Those are how many? Those are 18. I know he scored in the FA Cup. And I know he scored in the FA Cup, meaning that he really had 20 goals plus a season. And he had assists of like 13, 14 assists, meaning that his goal involvement was like 35 goals. Now, if you lose a player who really gets you to that level of scoring that much of goals, then you need to obviously come in through and obviously put yourself in a better position of really getting replacements for those players. Because if I don't replace them, then a lot might not go your way and you might come here and really mourn for us. So that is the man known as Pep Guardiola and the side of Man City. They'll only spend when they feel the spending is really right. The moment they feel the spending is not right, they won't obviously sanction it to happen. You understand? That's the stance of the side called Manchester City. But as things stand, for me, I believe they're really having a good squad with some young kids, but that really leaves them a little bit weak into the season. They want to attack like how they've always gone ahead to attack others. So we wait and see how that pans out. But it's really something important to note that it's really not going to go untampered, because Man City are a team that can really attack a deal and really get it done in a nick of time. And they might be really scouting to get in some 1 or 2 players, but let's wait and see how that really goes on. Then Fabrizio Romano has given us an update about a player known as Dybala. Saudi side Al Qadis are closing in on an agreement with Paul Dybala on a 3-year contract. Salary and contract terms agreed. Final details discussed. Talks still ongoing between AS Roma and Al Qadis, as 12 million euro clause is no longer valid, expired in July. So he's really going to be playing in the Saudi Pro League. And the Saudi Pro League is really providing a lifeline to players that are not needed, especially those players that will went ahead obviously make some huge names in the game of football. And it shows you that the player is really very, very good, but he doesn't have interest from other clubs like in the Premier League. Remember, there was a time when Paul Dybala was linked to Manchester United, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, when he was a hot asset. And I believe that's when he was supposed to leave the side of Juventus. But he really said no, ran his contract down at Juventus, and teams are not running at him to an extent that obviously he had to obviously go to AS Roma. The moment you really put yourself up on the market and you're a free agent, and teams are not really coming for you, that is the best description that you've gone ahead obviously see yourself really lose value onto the market. So wait and see how that's going to pan out for the player in Paul Dybala. But he's one of those players that I believe had a lot to offer to the game of football and really offered less. Paul Dybala has gone ahead to offer less to us. I tell you, we've not gone ahead to enjoy the best of Paul Dybala. Every time he looked like he's a player that is really going to make it to the top class, but I don't believe that he reached there. But he's a very good player, and I believe he failed to raise the bar to where the world thought he would obviously be in there. He's one of those players that came in through with his left foot, swift, and could skip past any player. And we thought that maybe he would obviously reach that level of Lionel Messi, but inconsistency has been part of his career. So guys, I call upon for your reactions of Arsenal pushing for positive Merino resolution soon. What do you make about it? And what do you make about Pep Guardiola and Man City? Happy with the squad they're really having, and they'll only spend when it's right? Do you think they should spend and get in more players or not? And what are your thoughts about Paul Dybala going to Saudi Arabia. Is it a shocker or it's a move in the right direction? Rokani David remains my name. I'm out. See you later, my mates.